Good morning, class. It's Friday, May 29th, and it is Dress Like a Cowboy Day. We do have our show and share today in our Google Classroom, so I hope you can join me for that, or you had a chance to already join me for that. We're going to have an optional practice spelling test with 10 of the words that we practiced this week. That is totally optional, so when we get to the spelling test part, if you don't feel like joining us for that, you go ahead and just stop your video there. We're going to finish our calendar for May, and we're going to do the number of the day for number 7. In our calendar, we're also going to look at how the weather was in May because we're all done the last school day of May. And then we are going to be practicing in math an addition and subtraction practice session where we review the strategies that we know to help us easily solve addition or subtraction questions. We're going to review the strategies of using a number line, how we use making 10 to help us answer addition or subtraction questions, how we use doubles to help us answer addition or subtraction questions, and we're also going to practice the strategy of counting up and counting back when the addition or subtraction question has simple low numbers like the number 1, the number 2, or the number 3 as one piece of it. Then we can count up or count back with those 3 digits very quickly. We don't want to be counting on our fingers for higher numbers. That's not an effective strategy, so we're going to talk about when we use that strategy best. Go ahead, please, and listen to the story today, Fishy Facts, as we continue to learn about animals. And then we're going to write a paragraph that is, what do you know about fish? So we're going to have an opening sentence and a closing sentence, and then some nice detailed sentences about the facts you know about fish. Please don't forget you should be reading quietly to yourself every day, at least 20 minutes. And that's a nice, quiet, relaxing break for you and also for your family, and will help you retain your stamina for reading and enjoying a story. If you get really into a story, you might even read longer than 20 minutes, and you'll have a great time with that. So my friends, go ahead and grab your calendar. If you need to pause the video to go get that, pause the video now. We're going to get started with finishing our May calendar, and when we come back on Monday, we're going to be looking at June. So that means, my friends, if you want to and you haven't completed it yet, finish coloring your May page. Remember, you can do the whole background, maybe use some of those cool swirly sky and ground patterns that we saw when we listened to the story The Giving Tree, the Métis story. And some of those nice dots and swirls would be a really cool background for this picture. We're going to add the date for today. It is 29, so a nice 2 and the same size 9. Make sure when you make your 9, you don't make the circle huge so it looks like an A, and you don't make the circle tiny. The circle's about half the size, and then it's got a long straight back. We're also going to add number 30, my friends, for Saturday. We already have 31 down for Sunday as the last day of May, and then this is our May calendar complete. If you want to, you can go ahead and color these cute pictures down the side, because remember, coloring is a great activity to help us strengthen our fine motor and also just to let us have some time to relax. Your whole tulip should be finished by now. Find the number 29, the number 30, and the number 31 and finish coloring that in. And it is a rainy day today, my friends. I had 4 of those already, so I'm going to cross out for 5. Because it is the last day of the month, we're going to total how many days of each type of weather we had that we tally marked. So I had one tally mark grouping of 5, and that's all. So I had 5 sunny days. For cloudy days, I had one group of 5 plus 2 more. So that's 7 cloudy days. And for rainy days, I had one group of 5. And I didn't have snowy days because the day it was snowing, I did my weather when it was rainy. But you might have some snowy days, so I would add 0, but you would add the number that you totaled in your tally marks to see how the weather is. When I'm looking at a weather review for May with just these weather topics, sunny, cloudy, rainy, or snowy, I can see that I've had the most cloudy days for school days in May, and I had an equal amount of rainy days and sunny days in May. I didn't show any snowy days in May, but you might. When we come to our weather graph, we're going to add today's weather, which is one rainy day. And then, my friends, if your calendar is inside your yellow duotang, you want to pull it out like mine so you can see where you're putting your totals. We have more weather options here. And remember, when we read a bar graph, we don't have to count each box because this number line on the top shows me the answer. So if I have one that stops under the number 5, then my answer is 5. So I have under sunny days, it stops under number 5, so I have 5 sunny days. For partly cloudy days, days with sun and cloud, my bar stops under the number 4 column, so I have 4 days. And in cloudy days, where there was no sunny and blue sky showing up, I have the black column and it ends on the number 2. So I had 2 days of those. Windy days, I had 1 listed down because see it's in the 1 column. So I only had 1 day I thought was really windy enough to classify it as windy. And then the blue column for days of rain, I go to the end of that column and up to the row to show me there's 5. And for days of snow, of course, I didn't have any, but you might have some. So with more weather options, we can see that I have a slightly different number. I have 5 days that were sunny and 4 days that had sun and cloud. So I could add those together and say I had 9 days in Edmonton in May when we had sunny skies. I could say I had 2 days where it was totally cloudy. Or I could say I had 4 days with some cloud and 2 days with all cloud. So I had 6 days that had some clouds in May. So then I have 9 as my most for sunny days, and I have 6 days that had some cloud. I only had 1 super windy day, and I had 5 days of rain. I didn't show any snowy days, but I do know a couple of those rainy days. If you were up early enough, you might have been marking down snow on your calendar. So my trend, I would say, my biggest number is that I had 9 days of school where there was a lot of sunshine or some sunshine on those days. So I would say May was a pretty sunny month. I had 5 days of rain, which our plants need in May, so I'm happy there were some nice rainy days in May. Our calendar is done, my friends. If you're still working on coloring or finishing in your counting, just pause the video. And if you're ready, you can go ahead and turn to your empty number of the day page. This is our last day of May, so if you have extra number of the day pages and later you want to do some extra practice for numbers, just pick a card or roll a dice and create your own number, or close your eyes and point to a number on your calendar and you can keep practicing number of the day. We always want to be able to represent numbers in many ways, and that's why we practice this on a daily basis. Our number today is the number 7. It's a less than 10 number. So when I get down to my 10 frame, I'm only going to need 1. It has only got numbers in the ones column. There are no 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s listed here. So to decide if it's even or odd, I can remember, is there a double that equals 7? I don't think so. Or I can count by 2 starting at 2, and I would go 2, 4, 6, 8. I skipped right over 7, so we know 7 is an odd number. If there's no double that can add to equal it, and it skips over when we count by 2 starting at 2, then we know that it's an odd number. The word 7 is an easy sound out, so S-E-V-E-N, S-E-V-E-N, all short letters. Sometimes when we hear the sound N at the end of a word, we want to just put the letter N, but we always put the E-N to make that N sound. For tally marks, 7 is more than 5, so I need 1 group of 5, and then I need more. I need 2 more to make 7. 1 more than 7 is 7 plus 1, so that is 8, and 1 less than 7 is 7 minus 1, so that equals 6. In my 10 frame, remember, I don't have anything in the tens column, so I'm only going to need 1 10 frame. 4 lines in the middle gives me a 10 frame, and it's not going to be full. It's just going to show me a whole row of 5 for that tally mark, and then a row with 2 for my extras to show me 7. I'm going to put 7 in the middle of my line segment and count up to see how far it goes. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And count back to see how far it goes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. If you put it too far on the end, you're going to go below 0. When you get to 0, just label 0. Place value blocks, I have no 10s because I have no 10s for the number 7. So I'm just going to have 7 blocks. And I'm going to do it in this order because this is going to give me another question when I go adding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see I did a row of 4 and a row of 3. When I do my dice dots, I'm going to do 6, because 6 is less than 7. And then I would only need one more to show me 7 in dice dots. Counting forwards from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And counting backwards by 7, when I get to 0, I'm going to stop. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Do a picture. It's only 7, so maybe you'll do like a nice flower picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm rushing, so they're not going very well. 7. If you start a picture like a flower, make sure it looks like a flower by the time you end your picture. In number bonds for 7, I have 7 in the big part, and I'm going to break it into 2 pieces to get my number bond. I like this one, 5 and 2. So then my number bond can tell me that 7 is 5 plus 2 is 7. And it can also tell me that 2 plus 5 is 7. And then it can tell me 2 subtraction questions. 7 take away 5 equals 2, or 7 take away 2 equals 5. It's not a double, my friends, so I can't do an equal one where I would only have 1 subtraction question. 7 goes in the whole part, and I'm going to break it into 2 more pieces. For the bottom, I like this one with 4 and 3, and I did it in 2 places. So I'm going to use 4 and 3 as my parts. Part, whole. And then I can get all of my addition and subtraction questions, 4 of them here. 4 plus 3 equals 7. 3 plus 4 equals 7. 7 minus 4 equals 3. And 7 minus 3 equals 4. For my number sentences, I'm going to use my number line and my 10 frame to do my subtraction questions. So if I start at 12, how many do I need to bounce back to land on 7? So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 12 minus 5 equals 7. If I use my 10 frame and my 10 frame was full, how many are empty to get to 7? Well, 3 are empty, so 10 minus 3 equals 7. I can go ahead and do some addition questions. I'm going to do 5 plus 2 equals 7, and I'm going to do 4 plus 3 equals 7, and you might do a different set of questions there. Number of the day for today is done, my friend, and that's our last one for May. So go ahead and take some time if you'd like and finish your May coloring, and then we'll be moving on to our June calendar on Monday when I see you again. If you're staying, my friends, for our optional spelling test, then you want to get ready. Pause the video while you get your page organized. You're going to have the numbers 1 to 10. 1, skip a line, 2, skip a line, 3, skip a line, 4, skip a line, 5, skip a line on one side of your page, and on the other side of your page, halfway, 6, skip a line, 7, skip a line, 8, skip a line, 9, skip a line, and 10, skip a line. And I just put little dashes there so I remember to leave a space before I start writing my word. So I'm going to give you about 3 seconds to spell your word with me. And if you need more time before we go on to the next number, just pause your video and finish writing your word. So in our optional spelling test today, our first word is a 4-letter word, and it is the word what. It has 4 letters, and it's the word what. Good. Moving on to word number 2, and if you're not ready, just hit pause on your video. Word number 2 is a 3-letter word, and it is the word the. It is the word the. If you're ready, my friends, we're moving on to word number 3, and if you're not, go ahead and pause on your video. Word number 3 is a 3-letter word, and it is the word all. The word all. Moving on to word number 4. If you're not ready, just pause your video. Word number 4 is the word were. Like in the sentence, were you going to eat that? It's a 4-letter word, the word were. If you're ready, we're moving on to word number 5. And if you're not, just pause your video and finish all the sounds you can hear in our last word. Word number 5 is a 4-letter word, and it is the word that. Like in the sentence, what was that? Word number 5 is the word that. Good job, my friends. If you're ready, we're going on to word number 6, and if you're not, just pause your video. Word number 6 is a 3-letter word. It is the word was. The word is was. Word number 7. If you're not ready, just pause your video. Word number 7 is a 4-letter word, and it is the word your. Like in the sentence, are we going to your house? The word your. If you're ready, moving on to word number 8. Word number 8 is a 3-letter word. It is the word can. Can. Word number 9, my friends, and if you're not ready, just pause your video. It is a 3-letter word, and it is a number for the word for the number 1. The word is 1, the number 1. And our last word, my friends, is the word said. I was listening to a story and she said. It's a 4-letter word for the word said. If you're all done, you can go ahead and check out how many letters you got correct in your spelling today. Remember, the more letters you get correct when you're sounding out a word, the easier it's going to be to read back. So quickly going through, word number 1 was what. That's worth 4 points. Word number 2 is the. That's worth 3 points. Word number 3, all. That's worth 3 points. Word number 4 is were. W-E-R-E for 4 points. Number 5 is that. T-H-A-T for 4 points. 6 is was. W-A-S for 3 points. 7 was your, Y-O-U, and then an R for 4 points. 8 is can, C-A-N for 3 points. And 9 is the number 1, O-N-E for 3 points. And finally, 10 is said, S-A-I-D, for 4 points. Now, if you said S-E-D when you read it, you would be able to do that. We can easily total what our test is out of, adding this way. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 3 more is 10, plus 4 more is 14, plus 4 more is 18. And on the other side of our page, 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 4 is 17. And then you can add your 17 and your 18 together by easily breaking them down into the problems 10 and 8 and into the problem 10 and 7. So we easily know 10 plus 10 is 20. And we know 8 plus 7 is almost a double of 7 plus 7, but one more. So that's 15. And then, my friends, your problem is out of 35, because 20 plus 15 more is 35. I hope you had fun doing your practice spelling test with me, and check your score. Remember, the higher your score means you got more letters correct, and the more letters you got correct, the easier it would be for you to read these words back when you're reading it again later. Have a wonderful Friday, and I'll see you back in June on Monday.